Peace. All right, very interesting class today. Let people come in so we can build. But basically, we're doing this session early just because my daughter's school schedule fits the schedule, right? Special day, beginning of school. So we're here early. So I want to get this down, noted, and it's probably just issues that are more, that might be more relevant to people that are online and stuff like that, but also to those that come and seek a peace indigo, that seek to build. When I finish a any class session or I build with anybody, and I said this once, that when I get letters from people that are locked up, I remind myself that I don't have all the answers, that they're seeking insight and not answers, that I'm not there to give the answer, but to give more insight to what I may know. You have to be ready to answer people. You have to be willing to use everything you have, even if it's not enough, to share and let someone know a path to an answer. So the best type of teacher, I always say, is the one that doesn't have every answer, for that's impossible. Knowledge is infinite. He would be steeped in his own questions, so how could he answer every question? But to be able to find every answer, right? The predicament that we're in here today puts me on those other deeper paths and everything. And yet this time I didn't think it all about, and over the years, people say, I've been teaching here for this is 2023, I've been teaching here for 23 years. It's a long time. What is the experience and things like that? Everything that is happening here isn't quite new. You know what I'm saying? Even the situation that I'm going to go through isn't of surprise to me, and yet it is different. But it is not absolutely new. You know what I mean? Peace to the God King. You know what I mean? God King always, in support of me at all times. You know what I mean? And I know that if I wasn't right exactly, he would tell me. The situation that we're in, though, so everybody could understand, though, I think I usually don't put details in the video and stuff just because I got in a habit, right? But if you look in Allah School of Mecca page and then issue classes back here on this channel, Sunez 7, but in the Allah School of Mecca pages, the last few videos with me, you see me building with my brother Ron B. Allah, right? And the God is very, very accomplished, okay? So you know who we're talking about here. The God Ron B is a police officer who's in the Army, who's in the Marines. He's very well accomplished and great at what he does. And he stood the test. Even though he grew up in this nation, his father is a 5%er. He still went through the fire of the many, many conversations. People can ask around. They can ask Darkim. They can ask Infinite, if Mega, that is, of Allah School of Mecca page, and countless others, though, that their ambivalence toward police, mine as well, We all questioned this. We all defied him. We all disagreed, whatever it was. My role as a teacher here has always been to develop the talents and skills for the benefits of the society. The way that, not that I was told to just do that by my own thought process. This was what was taught to me that the Father did when he got this school. He built with those that were in the community, and that's how he got this school. That's how he got the trips, the bus trips for the youth. That's how he got this universal flag done, right? So I try to take everyone's positivity and realize that not everyone is going to be doing things that I'm going to do. In fact, the more older you get, and thankfully, I've been able to find the things that I love to do, that there isn't really that many people anyway that do all the things that you do anyway. So I'm at this point where I can't really do what other people do. But essentially what happens here is that as we go along, I mentioned P.E.A.C.E in the video, and he's the one giving great advice. I thought we had there's a lot of clippings in there that are very useful. You know what I mean? And I want people to gear in mind, because if you notice in the Allah School of Mecca page, they'll click on things that say, why is the black man God? And everybody will click on it. White man's dead, God darn it, he's a devil. Click. You know what I'm saying? They want the basic answer. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't teach that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't give you the answer that way. I let you find the answer. I direct you to it. It's the way that I was taught. You know? my enlightened knowledge, me, remembered in perfection, was a knowledge seed, black seed, just like all my major teachers, black seeds. Knowledge me, Allah, would never give me the answer to anything. I would say, but listen, you know, I had to ask him one day, well, why is the brown and yellow seed original? Is it different than the black seed? Because this is things that I was getting at the time from people. It would be another question. Well, you have to look deep into this, though, to first see. You know, and he would tell me things and enlighten me. And if I really got an answer, it's because there were 20 questions coming later. Either way, this informs the way I teach, and I'm going to go into this as I go along, my teaching style. I want everyone that's listening to this to know that they're not going to get an answer immediately, and yet they're getting a lot of answers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of answers, a lot of direction. You see, the way I'm teaching is not to have you on a boat with me and we're pedaling upstream. That's not the way I'm teaching. The way I'm teaching is to give you the paddle and then show you the upstream and say, there you go. You get on it. We went through all these lockdowns, COVID, vaccines, and we started to take this online. I changed the way I taught. I kept it to the way I teach because it seems that way, that it is smooth to do it that way. But I can't just answer things straight up. I need you to do some work. You need to earn certain things and to reveal the understanding as opposed to just make sensible the knowledge and wisdom. It's not about making sensible the knowledge and wisdom that Sunez might give you, but to draw up whatever I had to show and prove whether it was valid, truthful, show and prove it, and make it to the level of your understanding, your show and proven understanding, and make it viable, make it unique for someone. So with that said, I've been teaching a lot about my own life, it seems, right? People have personal questions. People don't know that when you're teaching in Allah School of Mecca and you teach weekly, you build a rapport when you're here daily. You try to build a rapport. You need to get to learn the students. People don't know this. They don't understand this, right? But one thing that I learned though is I know who's coming for the wrong reasons. I know who will not return. And I also know who's doing the work. And just because you don't do the work, right? And I don't say anything, doesn't mean that you're not doing the work. Okay? I'm not that type of teacher. I'm not going to give you A's, B's, C's, or D's. Or F's. Until today, I'm giving an F to one individual that I'm going to use as a tool and a slave. You see, when this happens in my classroom and I have to kick someone out, I use him as a tool to show to everyone else in the classroom why this wasn't right and exact. So now I'm going to take something and show you how something is toxic and was toxic from the get. And the way that I taught deliberately was to force them in the corner to have to do work to then expose to see if they were really about it or just toxic. And I'm telling you this right now, that when people think that we don't put our lives on the line to teach this in a school that is voluntary to anyone that walks in, no one is really patted down here. You know what I'm saying? If someone's holding something, I already know, because I just know I have to know after a while. This is years and years of doing this, welcoming this community. No, you could pass. Silly. It's my daughter. She's silly. But the one student has been trying to defame me, I see. Let me tell you, let me work backwards, where here's the behavior that's not right and exact. You all know that because I have a rapport with everyone, and you know of me just as I know of you. Any question that you ask of me, I'm going to answer. And if you need to know me more personally, then answer it though. But I'm a simple person, although I do many things. So in the latest sessions, many of the sessions, Inf Mega has been interviewing me. And these are the ones that get a lot of shit. And say, oh, well, they're talking about this and that, and it's not the knowledge and this and that. You've got to see the relevance. If you notice when I talk about me making music or doing anything else, it's in the effect of how to create, how to make things. As far as me making music, I've been speaking about it because I wanted to be a vivid example of stepping into a uncomfortable zone. My brother King knows the discomfort that it was for me. And yet I still stepped into it. You know what I'm saying? That it is still much more difficult for me to do stuff than it is for someone else. So I had a student that failed. This is not the first student I failed. This is not the first student I've exiled from my classroom. This is not the first student that I've exiled and said, I will not build with you. But this is one of the most toxic reactions and realities. I didn't exile the student, this particular person. And I don't want to say his name, though, because people talk a lot of shit. His name goes by Sam. If you look on the videos, he's there also talking in the chair that's right around there. And this man is much older, about my age. And everybody knows that there are older students here that learn with me. Malik, right? It's just for this week, Kasim. My daughter had an early school day, so I just decided to do this here, and then we can have the day together, though. So I want to give her the day so that way, you know, we can have fun because she's starting school. But older students, Malik, my brother King, a lot of other people. My brother Self-I Build was a wonderful family. Every student that's older, I expect them to do certain things and to be on point, to work harder, to not ask me for things, but to ask of me, meaning that they're asking real legitimate questions. They're showing that they're doing the research. When my brother Malik asks questions, these aren't questions that are just questions. The quality of the question shows the quality of the research. The quality of the research is profound that Malik does. He's really studying his lessons. The interaction that I keep saying is offline, though. What do we build about? As many songs as you hear me and Kamal, we made albums, we keep building and doing shit. He builds on the day's math. He sends me videos, sends me written works of his build in the mathematics, asks me questions about aspects of 120 all the time. We build on it. We study it. People think that over all these years that and all of the contact that we have with the outside world, that the amount of students that I have is manageable. I'm telling you now that, and I'm being honest so you understand the perspective, it is not manageable, okay? I may have moments where I feel like I answered everyone, and then I realize I haven't, okay? I get emails from students all over the world. I get emails from jail, brothers locked up. And there's a very esoteric. So you can't just be writing some simple shit. They ask very deep questions. I have young students. I have older students. I have people pitching to me what they're doing, seeking advice, all of these things. And I try to manage it as best as I can. If the student is older, I expect them to do certain things. Now, with this particular student, though, he didn't come to me as a student. He came to me as a rapper. I have the original emails to my Gmail. I stayed weary. I said, this is peace, but you have to get this knowledge for yourself, though, and not just so you could be more valid with what you're doing on the microphone. Okay. These are real things. Anyone disagrees with this, though, I could show them. So he finally comes to the classroom, and here's the problem, though. We'll race to the ending here. It tells me certain people block this path. You know what I mean? He got a deal, and by the way it's gauged, it's been around his 30s. For a lot of MCs, this is their last jumper, right? Major label deal. This person that is really very beloved, people like him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And I'm not going to say his name because there's no way, he still has not shown improvement that this person did him wrong. Why? Because you said so. People keep doing that. People do that a lot to me. They know that if I bear witness, it makes it more valid. But I can only bear witness to things that are shown improvement. So when it's a sister, just because we're talking to each other doesn't mean that I'm going to bear witness that happened. You have to show and prove. Real paperwork, real proof, real happenstance, real. And the thing about the industry is that you can't show and prove that. I know this. Anybody here knows that I've been through a long history. I've been through every magazine. I've had interviews where I say, listen, I jumped ship. I caused trouble. I burnt bridges. I disagreed with things. And I ended up having to move, deciding to leave, and every other, then more magazines on the resume, right? But no one can tell me who these people are. I never mentioned their names. No one's going to remember me and whatever work I did based on them. You know what I mean? They're not going to remember me based on the supposed hell that people gave me. They're going to remember whatever work I shared. That's it. There's nothing else. Peace, God. Peace, God. A little early today. Yeah, I didn't want to bring her home too late. So I said, you know what? She had school short today. So I bring her here early, get this class here recorded and stuff. But, But I see everybody. Yeah, okay. Peace to the earth, harmony, peace, peace. All right. I see, definitely see Malik. Yeah. 793rd halftime, peace. You know. Oh man, I'm already working on stuff for OG Press Magazine. I want to thank them because that's a real magazine. You know what I'm saying? Up front from the beginning. You know what I mean? God see peace. No, this is not my new schedule, God see. This is just a special thing. I had a lot to say about this particular lecture, and you'll see why when I talk about this failed student that I have and had. Supreme Science, peace, God. You said there are 4 cardinal directions and 4 intercardinal directions on the sun and the flag. We need people to build from all angles to achieve community control. That includes law enforcement. Yes, thank you, thank you. Not all of us can do it though. If we take when real quick when Ron B was my student, that's what I was teaching him. I was teaching him how to teach all of the other officers. And now in his police precinct that he deals with, he's actually teaching the young officers how to deal with this law. And because he's God, he's teaching them how to deal with it right and exact. So there's so many ways to build, and there's so many powerful ways to build in any cipher that you go into. You know what I mean? But going back to this failed student talk, right? Here's the thing. If one of the first times if Mega was here, we all questioned, well, you know, it's not about just the music and being able to do things and say things in the music. It's about wanting to have this knowledge. And see, that's the thing. I already know that students come for two. There's only 2 types. They're really, if you bracket it in the most simple way, there's only 2 types of people that come in here to learn or to learn of this. There are the people that are seeking salvation of some sort, and this is their last salvage point, the last opportunity, the final frontier. Then there are people that are actually engaged with learning. They truly love learning, and they really are intrigued, and they're wondering if they can learn things here. The student that is seeking, the one that is seeking salvation may become the other, right? But you never know. And I noticed that the relationship was toxic from the beginning. They kept assuming that they was already God, but they didn't acknowledge any mathematics. They didn't acknowledge anything. The last time that they were here, I said, you're supposed to have the knowledge though. Do you have mathematics memorized? So, well, I'm not quite sure on it and everything. How do you see today's mathematics? So, well, I don't really, that's a grown man after a month or two, few months. You're failing, though. I don't need to tell you you're failing, though, but you're going to see me give you less and less. And if you're going to start talking about music and stuff, then that's what you'll get, and then we'll leave. The interesting thing is this, right? Is that many of the many of the artists that have come to get knowledge of self, when they are sincerely with it, there's been a more general rule, not always, but a more general rule that when they're really sincere about it, they don't say that they are an artist. Yes.
Hey, Bobby, I'm gonna go and see the dog.
Okay. Be around the gods, okay? So I'm saying this to say this, though, that I technically never exiled the person until after. I had to leave the school early last Thursday, and I taught a class. I didn't bring my laptop last week, and I had to leave. And I left him. This supposed student, this failed student to be came, and I told him, "You're late. It's already time for me to leave." But these gods, a lot of my elders are here. Pick their brain and do the knowledge. Pick their brain and do the knowledge. Meaning that the school is open. if the gods are open. You know what I'm saying? The school is open because the gods are here. And just like I learned with everybody else, if Knowledge Me wasn't here, people don't understand though. Knowledge Me was here, I would build. But when he wasn't here, I was here learning from everybody. Infinite Al Jamar, Dumar, Wise Jamel, Savior Knowledge, of course, right? Everybody that was here. So I left him there and I said, next time I see you, tell me what they're saying, right? And the assignment continues. You know what the assignment was? Besides mathematics and learning it, being able to show and prove and build. The assignment was, the next time you talk to me, don't speak about anything negative. It became to such a point, though, that if there were new students here, like I got my young God here, the young God would build, I'd get ready to go, I'd come back and we're ready to leave. Blank, blank, this individual screwed me in the industry because I'm this guy and I was going to be this guy. Shoulda, woulda, coulda tales on the waterfront 2023. You know what I'm saying? I'm quiet. I'm doing the knowledge. And I said, the next time you talk to me, I don't want to hear any of that stuff. I don't want to hear about who's this, who's that. What happens though? Next time he texts me, he's not texting me about what he was, that he had a great build with the older gods. He asked him this, that, and that. Nah, none of that. He's going to tell me about this DJ that because he's white and did him dirty, he must be dirty. Now, I know this person. And I didn't have these situations with them. So I'm like, well, you know, that might be your situation. But that's not, I don't want to hear any of that. Because he left me like 1 minute voice notes, 10 1-minute voice notes. Man, I'm with my children. I'm either with my children, or I'm building, or I'm reading, writing, training. I'm always doing something. I'm not listening to 10 minutes of, which now, when you tell me a story like that, that's 10 minutes. It's gossip now. It's gossip. You can't show and prove it. It's your story. And it really doesn't matter because we have the power now to make our own music. We have the power now to go promote it. We have the power now not to succumb to forums. We can create our own realities more so than before. Yes, it is. And I'm saying this personally. It's so much more hard to let people know what we have created, but we certainly can create without anybody hinging us. We still have the next hurdle of getting it out there to people to actually see it, but that's another story, right? All of a sudden now this is the breaking point. Like, you know, I don't like that you treat me disrespectfully. Now, and then he compares me to some other student that I had, and I said, listen, that student that you're talking about, I have taught him since he was a young man, and now he's a grown man. So what he says is going to be different. And our relationship is going to be different than we are because you're a newborn who hasn't even acknowledged the mathematics, though. So you're walking around like you're the true and living God, like you on this team. He's like, yo, it's me, you, and Day Sun. For you, those who don't know who Day Sun is my day one in this nation. He's the God that brought me here. He's the God that I did all this hip hop stuff with. He's one of the greatest writers in hip hop, and that's the team. That's the tandem. That's my day one. My negative day one in this nation. He's the God that we went through the source. We went through a whole bunch of things. And this knowledge, he brought me here. He named this course Political Education and Civilization Enrichment. This is not a trio. This is not a trio. You're not in the trio. That relationship I have with the God, that's special. That nobody has that. That's a duo. It's me and him. Asho is Krishnamurti and Asho. You know what I mean? It ain't nobody else in that. But he's taking on the labels, taking on the garments of the gods, and not doing the work of the gods. And I said, listen, I don't want to hear no negativity. You know what I was doing when he sent me these voicemails of, oh, this guy's, and you know what? the guy he was talking about did me a real solid one time. So no, I don't think that makes that person a great person unequivocally. We know the way the industry works. Somebody could do real great to you, but have done someone else dirty. But that's not here nor there. What I was saying, it was like, okay, well, what do you got to build? What are you going to build? Because these people actually aren't doing anything to him now. And what I was doing at that time, I literally was eating my largest post-workout meal and enjoying watching Ghostbusters for the first time with my youngest. She never seen it before. Watching something fun, right? It's ruining my family time. All of you can text me with all type of stuff. That's never ruining my time. But this bullshit, yeah. So that's what sets it off. So now I'm a devil. Now I'm racist because he's a black seed. Now I'm racist because I'm anti the black seed. Now I'm this. Now I'm that. And here's the thing, though, that shows people that they're just like a scorned female, right? Or a toxic man abuser. Either or. I had to block him from every social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, block him from my phone. He had my phone number. He has my phone number, right? Block him multiple times. And to this day, because this happened during the weekend, he's still texting me from other numbers that I have to block. And I didn't delete the conversations. I can show and prove this devilish nature. This is toxic behavior. And the way that he's saying is that I'm not a real MC and I have to challenge him to a battle. Let's say I rap. King Kamal knows I can rap. Indigo respects that I can MC something. If we go song for song, though, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna flow better than everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have lots of hooks. But what I'll say, though, will burn a hole in you. But that ain't what I do. You know what I mean? Peace to the God. Peace to the God, La Prime. AP the Overlord. I'm not going to rap. This is the same thing that we have here, right? Let's say somebody does devilishment, and then they tell you, and they blame it on you, and they get on you, and then they say, we're going to have to fight. Right? We'll take it to something that I know I could do. We fight. I'm still not fighting you. Because if I win, that doesn't prove that I was right and exact. I was already right and exact. If you, by some miracle, actually hurt me, that proves that you're right and exact. You're wrong and incorrect from the whole jump. You've been wrong the whole time. I'm going to read you a text that I sent him. I need you to understand this. I sent him 2 text messages when he texted me this morning, and then I blocked the number. I said, older students are supposed to text me builds, not quote, oh, did you hear about blank DJ? He likes so a devil. Oh, you don't know? My older students are building on math and asking questions, speaking on their careers and their industries and schooling and parenting. Remember, parenting. Parenting. Remember our children. This man has a son, right? But when he's here in the classroom, right? I told the God, he had invited the God 07, who now is also a devil too to him. Great MC. One of the greatest MC voices ever, greatest speaking voice ever. The God is great. The God 07, the God omnipotent Allah, had him on a guest. One of his enemies in the industry was actually a friend to 07, so now he became an enemy. And I saw the show, and I didn't see that conflict because it was off air. And I'm saying all this so you can educate you. it was near Father's Day, and he gave a whole rant about Father's Day, about how his baby mama ain't anything, she's horrible. He went Bobby Digital on it. It's Bobby Digital, right? That's cool for a Bobby Digital song, because Bobby Digital is RZA actually, and RZA is actually rich and well off, and actually is providing for his children, and it's cool for a song. You know what I'm saying? So he can make all these songs. This man hasn't seen his son, hasn't seen anything, isn't doing anything for his children, but has the time to rant on his podcast about how his baby mama's horrible, and that's why he's not seeing his kid or anything. But you're not doing anything for your child.
Hey, Bobby, I think the dog doesn't like me.
Okay, just be easy with it.
Look, it's
Come on, that's resting. Stop. Go over there. You're looking too much into it. But yeah, he really went Bobby Digital on it. It was I forgot the name of the song. I love that song though. Your mama ain't this, you're going to. It was all that. It was that, you know. And I said, you know what the problem is, and this is something. These are the kind of ways I would chastise him. I would say, you're not supposed to be insulting your daughter's mother. You're supposed to be building, and even if she stops you from seeing your child, then you make a world where when they finally see you, you have something to show them, teach them, show them something. There's so many times in my life as an adult, much of it as a father, most of it as a father, where I have had difficulty providing financially. And yet I've always had things for my children, ways to spend with them, things to teach them, things to show them. There is always something that we can and must do. I've been near homeless though. I still will go see my children because I did do that. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing. I go to my children and say, listen, we got $20. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to explore. This is what we're going to learn today. We're just going to spend time having fun. And when they're not with you, are you reading, writing, training, building yourself up to make such a powerful life of yourself that you're going to have the vitality, exuberance, and abilities to be with them when that time comes. What I learned very early on with my oldest daughter, I may have had the chance to be a father to a child the way it ought to be taken from me. But I will always be a father of that individual. And a father of a grown-up child is always the possibility, always. And we keep working on that. We keep working on that. All that shit, and I'm saying this as an add-on, all of that stuff about they turn 21, I'm kicking them out and things like that. We bring them till they could do on their own, though. But they're always under our care. None of us are. We're all under the devil's civilization. None of us are rich, though. So unless you have trust funds and recouping funds that's going to keep giving them funds forever, then there's something of value mentally, emotionally, intellectually that you need to continue to give to your children for their whole life. Because we didn't just have children to just send them off. We got this knowledge. We have children, and we know this. We had children, and they are actually warriors that we're sending to war. That's what they are. That's why the whole 1 to 14, I say, is a military manual. At home and abroad, we're sending to war. So my daughter, whether she's 22 or 42 or 52, in some way, she's always under my care. Some kind of way here. They're under my care. These are the things that I would chastise, and they bubbled over because they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything. I ask you, Did you memorize the math? And they're like, blah, blah, blah. You came into this school. You came into the school. You don't know it's the 7th day. Don't tell me you don't know the day mathematics today. Today's the 7th, though. You stupid ass. You don't know any of the other numerals, though. You better know the one that you stepped into. You better know the day. That's what I expect out of adults. Adults. I also said in this thing, I said, but you mad because I don't want to lay out a couch and hear more stories about industry I know is shady already. What are you doing? Work on you. Leave out all the excuses like me and all these people that effed you over. All of that stuff is fairy tales. I know that there are fathers in here that we haven't been able to see our children. We don't always make the amount enough money though where we could just buy things and get them back into our lives like that, right? Fidel Castro style, right? We have to constantly be building on our own and to make ourselves greater. So this is what I have to deal with though. I dealt with one female that was like this though, and she didn't like something I did, and she kept calling me at night to argue about what I did, which by the way, I still did the right thing. I would not have changed what I did. Because someone tells me something, I'm not going to hoop and holler for them just because they told me something. I'm going to take it into advisement. Like this. And let me show you the jewel. If someone tells me that that's the enemy right there, and you tell me, this person here tells me that, yo, Sunez, that's the enemy right there. And if they want to be like, hey, you enemy, you, I hate you, you're not going to see me like that. Because I don't deal with enemies like that. I don't whoop and holler and go, hey, you enemy, I'll kill you. I said, let me do the knowledge, though, because if it's an enemy and I have to defeat them, I'm going to have to study them now. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see how they move. They don't need to know that I know. And if I move like that, and I moved like that, this female I was talking to, she got crazy. She started calling me up. Called me up repeatedly. Every 10 minutes would call me up, waking me up. Wouldn't let me sleep. Cut it off. This is toxic behavior, whether male or female. And to me, it's even more devilish when it's male because it's dangerous. It's dangerous though. The fact that he's doing this to me, a grown man, and I'm a man. I'm only dealing with women. That's it. I ain't dealing on any kind of thing. Right? There's no LGBTQIA anything in here, just Allah himself. And to do that to me, to constantly do that, that's toxic. That's toxic. It means that he's either possibly homosexual and certainly toxic in the mind. And I'm saying this though because people don't understand the difficulties of it is teaching youth out there, that we teach everyone. These are the things that we deal with. This is why I don't get super hyped with things. That's why I don't get super low with things. Psychotic behavior. And then they tell me like, yo, you think you're an MC? You're a punk MC, Sunez. You're not an MC. You have no props in hip-hop. Props in hip-hop? You're talking about rapping. I made up my own element. I took something people was doing and made it a creative element of hip-hop. I don't even need the 4 elements. I made a whole career without the 4 elements. If I rap now, that's just everything is vegan gravy. Everything's vegan gravy. You know what I'm saying? Then they tell me I got to do a duel. I gotta do a duel.
Hey, Poppy, the dog licked my chin.
Yeah, see, it likes you. He's behind you.
Oh my god.
Let me see what I've been ranting. Let's see. And he got on King too. He included King in this whole thing to try to egg me out. Mean Girls Talent Show. It's Peace Prison. I read it. That's in Melly Melly Cool Divo. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, and I don't even want to put it in the Melly Mel voice though or anything because those are legends. You know what I mean? Private Soldiers. I know you see it, Supreme Scientist. I know you see it. You know, right? But it disgusts me that somebody that's grown would find so much horrible with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And because they did that, anyone else that could possibly do something for them. See, they came here not to learn, but they came here to see who could do things for them. You see? And they don't understand, though, that if you listen to these classes, you listen to these class sessions, a lot of people don't understand. Some of these class sessions, they got more jewels than you could learn in years hanging out here. Everything here is concentrated supremacy. I give stuff here that took me years to get. Years to get. Dark Kim says the same thing because it just comes out and say it. Took me years to get this.
When I was skipping through the hallway, it ran to me.
You wanted my social equality. Yeah, you're right, Kasi. They really needed a therapist. You know what I'm saying? I just it's people like that have happened over the years that they'll yell at people. I've seen it happen to other elders. I've seen it's happened to me, and they'll really chastise you as if you didn't teach them anything. And they're not doing an honest to what they was given. How much they was given. You know what I'm saying? Right? Peace, Jarrell. You said the nature of the 85 is inconsistency. Absolutely. Some people come to build us, come with a destructive nature that, if not confronted, destroys within themselves. Yeah, it was completely toxic. You know what I mean? And I would tell him, like, listen, why do you keep speaking on this? Listen, he's wondering why other gods that I know are telling him, why are you talking about this man, that man? And they're like, and he's telling me, like, yo, but you understand, Sunez, you've been through the industry. And I'm like, but ask those gods. I've known them for years, though. They don't know who it is. We're talking about, there's only one person that knows some of the people that did devilishment toward me in the industry. And that's Day's son. Do you know why he knows? Because we was in the industry together. And I didn't say, oh, that's a devil right there. Look, I'll take him at the stake. Yo, God. Move swiftly.
When I was sitting down with the dog, it was licking me everywhere.
It likes you.
It really does.
Okay.
But it's dirty.
Yeah.
I just washed my hands.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like,
King, you said he's still mad about the Earth Jewel bodying him. She hit him with 6 sextillion tons of uniform 21 cyphers. Now he cramping mini or maxi plus lessons. Now, let's say he deals with a woman, though, and he can't listen to her perspective. And the minute she does something wrong, that's how he respond? Because that's toxic behavior. This is stuff that it doesn't scare me. It annoys me. But if he does this to me, imagine what they do to females and how much fear that they put into females if they don't do or behave the way that they want to. Welcome out. That's right, Wise. You know? And Wise, you know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. And now, if anybody has any questions about that, this, or the other, let me know. Let me know. She is, right, Indigo? She's really adorable. You know what I mean? This is why when I want to read and she still wants my phone, I end up giving it to her anyway. Right? I have a game section in my phone, games that I don't even play. All right. No, it ain't peace. It ain't peace, sir. You have those who seek knowledge, then those who seek to leech off those who have the knowledge. Yeah. Princess Prizza, you're right. He's having an internal conflict that he needs to resolve immediately. Yeah, but he's not going to resolve it, though. They become so consistent. That's one thing that never left the whole time. Every conversation would veer into that. It didn't matter what it was, it would veer into that. You know? I have many students, and many students have hangups and often repeat certain hangups that they have, and they'll go through gripes. You know what I'm saying? And I say, listen, focus on the build. Focus on the build. What are you doing? What are you creating? What are you making? What are you working on? And those students work that way. And they show me work. So then I offer an ear to their issues. If they don't show hurt, if they don't show work, yeah, hurt people hurt people. If they don't show work, I don't want to hear about the issues at all, ever. And this was the case. You know what I mean?
I know who you were.
All right, let me see if I have everybody here. Yeah. You know, and again, I'm talking about this because I think it's useful. I think that if you're gonna teach, this is why people are so guarded. And I think that a lot of people don't go through this situation like I do because I told you 5%ers, a lot of times we're teaching in the hood and we teach people that we know we could roll with because we're living around that area and we're not rolling with people that we can't mess with like that. I teach people that come into the classroom. You know what I'm saying? And when I teach people that come into the classroom, not everyone has the same mentalities, the likes, dislikes, lifestyle that I have. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to adjust to that, and I don't mind adjusting to that. You know what I mean? It hasn't. This is what he said as far as threatening my life. You know what I mean? You know, I said that the things you're doing and constantly harassing is almost like physically threatening, and I will defend myself accordingly. You know, because if he was saying all this in front of me, though, I would take it like a physical threat. Because he called me the last phone conversation I had. I said, "Listen, did you even do the assignment? You're mad about the assignment." And he just yelled at me for 5 minutes, and that's when I just cut him off. Because no one's yelling at me. I'm not letting no woman yell at me that I'm dealing with. I'm not letting my children don't yell at me. You know, family don't yell at me. Nobody's yelling at me. My father don't yell at me. You know what I'm saying? My father don't yell at me. You know what I mean? And then he was like, well, you know, I don't want to take it physical. It's just all hip hop. But if you take it physical, I will air you out. You know what I'm saying? So this is the kind of like loose talk that he has. You know what I mean? But the thing is, though, is that if you step to people the way he's doing on the social media would be the same as coming into my face and yelling at me and calling me all types of things. You know, so it'd be doing stuff that I just can't allow in my cipher. You know? So he's doing stuff that would not be physically allowable to be done in front of me. You know? So this is the thing, you know? So people know that they can't really fight. So they're not going to fight. But they're going to try to slander and they're going to try to do everything that they can. And it's real scorned woman shit. It's Lifetime. I'm in a Lifetime movie. And you know, if you've seen a Lifetime movie, which I have suffered through many, right? If you've been in a Lifetime movie, you know that the cowards, though, all of a sudden get weaponry. So I take this very seriously. So if he does come to the school or whatnot and things like that, I treat it as a physical threat to my well-being. Because this is where my family is, though. Not just my children, though, but these are my elders. This is all my family. You know what I'm saying? I need one halftime, a Luther anger translator, because I don't give anybody the credit, you know what I'm saying, to do that, you know? And see, you know what the thing is? I don't want to fight anybody because I already know I'm right and exact. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to punctuate when I'm right. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because like the biggest conflicts I have is like people don't understand what loyalty is. You know what I'm saying? They think loyalty is blindly following somebody, and then they ask for loyalty, and I've known you, and you haven't shown and proven anything. Love is love. It's love, right? It's love and loyalty, right? We do 2 L's, love and loyalty. You didn't do anything. You got to show understanding. You got to show the work to the understanding. You didn't do anything. How could you get loyalty? You know what I'm saying? What he never was feeling was that I wasn't giving him loyalty the way he wanted to. And it's like the loyalty that I'm giving is the integrity to this craft of teaching that I take with the utmost respect. We weren't supposed to teach here and just have crowds. We're supposed to teach our lives, our realities, this knowledge, everything that we have to the people as we have it, though, and as they come. Without proselytizing, without keeping things here. You know what I mean? These are major problems, though. And this is why, like, when we teach the young, we focus on the young, because the elders, the older, not the elders, but the old, they're trying to make up for things that they couldn't do, instead of trying to build themselves up and see what they actually could be. They're still trying to find another way to be what they wanted to be, instead of finding some greatness that they could be. Supreme, you said we could learn a lot from people who sell on the P.E.A.C.E part. How to not get drawn up and get the lesson and keep building. It's all in 120 degrees, characters. That's right, God. That's right. You know, and I knew that he wasn't fit, but I also knew that they're seeing me do things with King. They're seeing me here. People that want to get close, they're seeing like, oh look, Sunez, like he got books, he got this. Listen, to all you out, everyone that has ever helped me with whatever I'm doing, though, they're not just giving me like fun change. I really do this independently. You know what I'm saying? So when King, when we do stuff, when I write books and everything like that, everyone that has ever bought a book from me has paid for something in the house. You know what I'm saying? They paid for something in the house, you know? Everything is necessary, everything is real. But people see things, they're like, look, while I was in here, you go back to the videos, you can see the ones that have been put on, right? I'd be in the class, just like when I was on his podcast. Is he interviewing me or having me just speak about him and verify him? I go on his podcast, he's telling me, oh, but you know, now I'm going to play you a song of mine and I want you to review it. I said, okay, right. You want me to tell you, you really want me to just tell you that you're dope and shit like that? Yeah, you could rap. Rapping is a skill, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to come to me and be on this, I'm the greatest rapper ever, you know, Nas is like, you know, that was my spot. I was supposed to be like, you know, this really seriously, I'm not kidding, right? Indigo knows, like, you rhyme because you love it and because you have something unique to say. And the real goal is to be unique. Because if you're trying to be the best, though, when you're in my position, I'm in the mountaintop. I have seen everybody that is incredible. I'm in the world where everybody does this incredible. There's no average people. Everybody does this incredible. He's like, I'm the best ever. And it's like, I could name 50 people that are better than me. Off the head, just easy. Not legends. I'm not talking about Nas, Pharoah Monch, Coogee Rap. Like, I'm not even going to Sean Price. No, I'm talking about people now. So I see the inflated egos, all of this stuff, to trying to deflect from the work that's in. From the work that's in. Remember, I tell everybody that at Thursday, when this class ends, my week begins, because my week begins knowing that I gave what I had and it won't be enough for next week. I have to see if I truly know enough. I have to continually learn more and I have to do better. That's what I think about when I leave the class. I don't celebrate and go, ooh, yeah, look, I just proved again I'm the best. We did it, you know, another class, you know what I mean?
My eyes feel weird. After climb up the top.
Oh, okay, you might be a little allergic, I guess. You don't look so bad, though. I think you might be in your head. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Did you wash your hands really good?
Yes.
Okay. Harmony, you said you provide the tools, it's up to them to do the knowledge. The chosen choose themselves. That's right. King, you say he's nowhere near on your level lyrically or musically, God. It's not. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Halftime. If you're gonna be big headed, at least be a scientist too. We got some of those too in the nation. We got big head scientists in the nation too. We ain't even on that shit yet. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna speak on that. You know, but I want to go through some questions that the God Malik texted me. He said, why did Elijah Muhammad say dirty religion? He said that in the fifth degree. Why did we take Jerusalem from the devil? How long ago? Right? Because one of our righteous brothers who was a prophet by the name of Jesus was buried there. And they used his name to shield their dirty religion, right? Which is called Christianity. Now we see every religion is wrong. So then I'm thinking that the God is seeing dirty as like gratuitous, too much of an add-on, right? I see it a little differently. By this time, many religions are being developed, but not necessarily abusive. Though, in other words, they might be based on wrong information, but they might be based. But all religions, whether we want to admit it or not, they're being developed because people need some kind of guidance, right? We just in this day and time we assume that all the leaders though know the truth and are abusing the truth because they know the truth, right? But theoretically, a religion would be to guide the people, So, like, let's say Nation Islam, they're not teaching it the way we know it, the way we understand it. But you couldn't call that a dirty religion, though, because they're teaching a religion that is guiding the people. And theoretically, like really, if they really read through the teachings, though, they'll see that they're not Muslim. They'll see that they're God if they get that understanding. They may not, though. They're following. They need to follow, right? So to me, there'd be a difference. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Supreme, you said dirty, can't clean themselves up with it, right? With that type of religion, Christianity, you can't clean yourself up. You're not gonna be able to be guided to a positive life. You know what I mean? You'd be forever stymied. Okay, but you're fine though. Don't scratch. Okay. All right. Malik, if you're still here, let me know if I answered that question though. But we'll build later about it if you don't get on. You know. Definitely a metaverse of his mind, God. Yeah. Okay. The God also asked me, what's your understanding on the universe? I know there's no beginning or no ending. I see the universe as creation, so I don't see that there is an ending to it, but everything that we create in the universe, in our field of creation, can have an ending. You know what I'm saying? Right? And the reality is that we are always creating, right? We are always creating. To be creator, we have to be creating. So in that sense, creation itself would always be infinite. And if we look at universe as the creation itself, then it would always have some type of infinity that relates to us. God also asked me, being Elijah got the knowledge from far, can it be seen as religious that nobody saw him but Elijah and his whereabouts are mysterious? Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. That's part of what makes what Elijah did with the Nation Islam a religion. You know, he couldn't unequivocally prove that Fard was there. Like, he's not. The only way you can unequivocally prove that somebody's there is by them being right there, and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hope those answer the questions. Okay. Okay. And I always say I want everybody to validate who it is that's teaching them. It's important that when they validate, you actually do the work. You keep rubbing your eyes up. It's really not that bad. But did you? Wash your face with the soap. Okay? So I said all this. Tired already? Supreme, you said Elijah defined mystery God as someone thing no one has ever seen. So Muslims say far can't be classified as a mystery God. Right. So because he saw him, though, it's not a mystery. Yeah. I mean, he's still a missing God. Yeah, he's not a mystery God. He's a missing God. Yeah, shit. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Bobby. Bobby. Bobby, remember when I told you what happened to my eyes that they always play that it's happening again.
No water.
No, it's because you dirty.
Every time you touch your clothes, it's getting you gotta stop rubbing your fingers. Yeah, the missing God. I like that. I like that. Jarrell, you said in the fifth degree, and the one in the fourth, it says deceive the people so they would believe. So they would believe in it. I've always wondered what the reason for difference with the two versions was. Honestly, when people ask me the reason for stuff, a lot of the reason is typos. Like this was something that was hand-to-hand typed for stuff. You know what I'm saying? And given that way. So as far as the reason, that's really the reason. It's not no like it didn't come out of like an argument, like if you look at it like that, you know. Because I have deceived the people so that they would believe in him. You know what I mean? Like the point is made. Again, the lessons, the elders, they kept writing it and they shared it bit by bit. They didn't always go down the line. And Elijah's grammar already was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Elijah's grammar was not great. So we have to adjust. And that's why not to alter 120, because if we understand the consistency of that individual voice, which is Elijah, then we can understand the lessons better. You know? That's peace, God. Yeah. Yeah, that's why like it's not too much argument about certain things because that's what was the reasoning. Of course, there are certain parts, certain lessons and stuff that like, it's obviously you're not gonna have a degree and say the colored man is God, then you got something wrong. But there are typos that got consistently, shared, But the ones that have survived as like two different sets and stuff, they're usually inconsequential. They're usually not anything that's too bad, you know. Fight. We'll go down. Stop touching. That's really the reason. You know what I mean? That's really the reason, God. The punctuation alters the way you say things, and possibly can alter the meanings of things. Right? Peace. Possibly alter the meanings though. So if you start changing stuff, it's no good. You know. Peace, Supreme Scientist. Peace to the God. So that's why I can't change it like that. You know what I'm saying? But to everybody, I will be here until 2:00. So I'm gonna be here for another 45. for any questions you have. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say here. I thought it would be a long, more drawn out thing, though, but devilishment is devilishment, man. There's no way around it. Whatever reaction this is devilishment. Like, like the, I was telling the guy King, like, by the way, I have to say, King made this battle rap diss track to this clown, the operative word here, and she was crazy. She was crazy, but it really, it's unnecessary for us. You know what I'm saying? We already have respect. We already have the opportunity to create. When people made battle songs like KRS One and things like that, they were fighting because they were being blocked, and that was the way that they fought. I'm not blocking this man from doing stuff. It's not like if I'm writing, I have too many great people to write about to waste time on that. And if people do me wrong and I feel that they've done wrong, I'll leave them alone. I won't write about them at all. And if I feel that they still do good work, I'll still write about them, and it'll just be as a very bland, completist piece. It won't be inflammatory or anything like that, unless they say some dumb shit or the music is terrible, right? He doesn't have that opportunity though, because the truth is that his work is extremely outdated though, and I think that's the thing. They've seen the sun has set without him. You know what I'm saying? But King, you said when a degree talks about the flag of Islam is the greatest only flag of the universe, do they mean for the Muslims since we have our own flag? They obviously they surely do mean for the Muslims and stuff like that. Obviously, when we build on it, we only dealing with our own shit. You know what I'm saying? Because their flag doesn't tell you about the black family. So there's nothing greater than that. This flag has the black family. Their flag has, it's symbolic of things that you want to get. Freedom, justice, equality, the culture of Islam, but it ain't the universal flag. That's all I can say, with all the bias that I can say that with. Yeah, relax a little bit. Okay. Give me a minute. Come here. All right. Okay. All right. Let me know if there's any questions. Did I miss 79.3? You said peaceful jewels of vitamin C and D as it knocked the ish out within 4 or 5 days when it came into contact. That's peace. That is peace. You know that vitamin D is really what's going to keep all these viruses away, you know? So like I take vitamin D all year round, even if I'm training outside or anything, you know what I mean? And this is why, you know, it's with everything I'm eating and doing, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to get sick, you know what I'm saying? Even when I have to deal with toxic people, though, right? I can quickly exile them and not feel the effects, right? Yeah, you know, and you know, it's interesting that in the time that we've gotten more in digital from the Allah School of Mecca page to now, Dark Kim and I, like we share the videos, like we share our classes like this, and we build with you all students and builders that come to do the knowledge. You know, it's so interesting that the amount of slander increases. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, it's very much a scapegoat thing. You know, it's very much a scapegoat thing. You know, I noticed that every time someone doesn't really, because if you find them, find them. But when somebody, you know, doesn't like what I've done or isn't doing anything, it's always a way to cop out and say, well, you know, he's light skinned, he's this, he's that. Like people think I got here with privilege, you know, like I'm teaching at the school with privilege. You know what I'm saying? Or I had moments of privilege in my life, though. I don't remember those. I'd love a millennial, you know, millennial sociologist of the day to, you know, go with a fine tooth comb through my life, though, because they wouldn't find it. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many excuses, and this is why, you know, when the father stopped dealing with the young, he changed that degree. What brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? The but brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. Because one of the most devilish things that I've seen is that the older you get, the more excuses you have. You know what I'm saying? And there are tons of things that I need to do better. There's so many things that I could do, but I don't spend the time making just the excuses. I'm trying to think like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? It's always what am I gonna do? What's the next move? What's the next possibility? You know what I mean? It's never about someone else. You know what I mean? This is something to think about. You know what I mean? I've never, it's been a long time. I have not dealt with someone, truthfully, I have not dealt with someone my age that has been so obsessed with passing blame and finding excuses. Because, listen, they're talking, but we're building, we're making things, you know? And we don't have these giant budgets people are talking about, but we're building, you know? So a lot of this shit is out of pocket, you know what I mean? And when I have these negative situations, I try to think like, if I'm teaching this and I can't get that lesson across to that person, it's also a way to look in the mirror and say, Sunez, what are the things that I could do so that I don't steep into those things? Nothing is a guarantee. This life is difficult. There'll be moments where you have everyone that you can blame. It makes total sense. But it'll always be useless, you know? Or very little use, you know? This whole life here is not like a cartoon with just enemies and things like that. The real enemies that are against us, you know, we're just blips. We're inconsequential. We have to do so much more to be on their radar, you know? And then people get knowledge of self, though, and it inflates the ego, and not the intelligence. That is a problem. This is a big problem. This is why the ancients never taught this overtly like that. You know? All right, so King, I always like the liquid, because you can adjust. Like vitamin C and vitamin D, I always like liquid because you can adjust. 20, you take a 20,000 IU joint for D3, that's good. Malik, look, when you see I answered some of your questions, you let me know later if they was right and exact. You know what I'm saying? Breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. I train very, very early. So on training days, the first thing I do when I wake up is I train. You know what I'm saying? And even when I'm not doing a full training session, I do a short weightlifting session. But I don't eat until I've done something. I don't eat. So everything is always first meal is always post workout. Post workout meal, which is my largest meal of the day. I love having a salad with tempeh, nuts, usually sunflower seeds I throw in there, make it crunchy. What else I put in there? Tempeh, sunflower seeds, the salad, beans. I'm partial to garbanzo beans, chickpeas, right? So I'm usually eating those. But, any bean will do, I'm from Puerto Rican background, so I like beans, And along with that salad with everything in it, I'll also have a bowl of quinoa. I usually put some sunflower seeds in there too. I like to make everything crunchy, and lots of other nuts and seeds. So I always have cashews, almonds, sunflower seeds, of course, cashews, almonds, and hazelnuts. Those are my three favorite nuts. And then sunflower seeds. Those are my four go-tos. And I'll have the salad. I'll eat more nuts and stuff. I eat a lot of nuts and a lot of seeds. And then as a snack, as a treat snack, whatever you want to call it, I'll have dried fruit. But dried fruit that has no preservatives, no oxides, no hydroxides, anything that is denaturing it. No coloring, just all natural, usually organic mango slices. I'm partial to figs too, dried figs, but no sugars added, nothing, and lots of fruit. Lots of fruit along with the dried fruit. So dried fruit and fruit, those are my treats. People, we have an ice cream and shit. I have dried fruit. That's my treat. Especially mango, man, dried mango, right? Mango slices. You know what I mean? I love those. But nothing denatured. They can't have any preservatives in it. You know what I mean? But that's mainly like the post-workout meal snacks. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't go beyond that because a lot of times I don't eat after that. You know what I'm saying? On a typical day, if I'm gonna eat again, I'll just have more nuts and seeds, and that's when I'm just trying to bulk up more. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm expending so much energy, so I realized that, and I just, but usually nearly every day is an intermittent fast. Days like Friday and stuff like that, I usually fast for at least 24, at least 36. Lately it's been going to 48 hours just because I don't like to break my fast unless I'm in a calm state and relaxed and enjoy my meal like I earned it. So the last couple of weekly fasts have been going like 48 or something like that. But 47, 46, shit like that. But I always try to intermittently fast. You know what I'm saying? So the intermittent fast would be like 18 hours or something. So I might finish eating by 2 o'clock, right? 2, 3 o'clock. Let's say 3 o'clock, the latest, right? And then I won't eat until I'm definitely not going to get to eat until like 10 o'clock because I might work out and end my training might end before that 10 o'clock hour. But I'm forgetting this though. The post workout, what I usually do is I drink a protein drink right after I finish training. Everything, weightlifting, martial arts, everything. And then I just wait. I'll read, study, work on things, and then later, then I'm gonna have that meal. You know what I'm saying? So the post-workout meal isn't eaten immediately. The protein drink is taken immediately. You know, right? So a day like today, where I didn't have time to have a meal, I still had the protein shake. You know, and that has chlorophyll. I also add chlorophyll and everything to it. You know, so those are the meals. You know what I'm saying? I usually have just that one big meal, and then any other meal would just be an add-on of nuts and seeds and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't need everything, so I don't need it. I don't eat it. You know. Nutrients supplementation that I always deal with. B complex 100 milligrams, right? The whole B complex. Vitamin C regularly in every single glass of water that I drink. Okay, so vitamin C throughout the day, as opposed to you cannot drink that in one chunk. You have to have bits throughout the day. Vitamin D, my first drink has it. I take about 16,000 units. That works for me. That amount works for me. So for some reason it works for me, and so I use it, and that's in my first drink of water, in my water, right? With vitamin C, of course. So after that, then it's just vitamin C in the water. What's the other supplementation? Calcium, magnesium. I'm forgetting the amounts though. What else? I've been taking quercetin because quercetin mixed with vitamin C is good for muscle building and good, really muscle atrophy. Like so the soreness build the strength up, and I can feel the difference using it for quite a while. What else? I always take zinc too. And I take the nutrients, the pills, the B's, calcium, magnesium, quercetin, zinc. Those are taken in pill form.
Bobby, my eye really hurts too.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna get ready to shut this down. My little girl was playing with the dog, and she feels and looks a little like she was allergic to the dog. So it's kind of getting a little swollen. So take her home. But if anybody has any questions, if anybody sees that slander, don't worry about it. You already know. Take the jewel.
Hey, Bob.
Any other questions you want to build with me? If you have my number, text me. We build. If you don't and you want my number, email me. Let's build. Let's build on a more deeper level.
Hey, Bobby, is this on YouTube?
It's gonna be on YouTube, yeah.
Bobby, you forgot to say like and subscribe.
Oh, right. My daughter says I have to say, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell below.
Hit the bell below
So you don't miss any newly posted videos like this.
Okay, you got it right. You got the thing. You got it. Yeah. So yeah, hit the bell and everything. Yeah. All right. All that bell stuff and it.
And like this video.
Yeah, it's important that you like the video.
And view the video.
Yeah. This could be the most likes I've ever gotten though.
Really?
Yeah, because of you. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. See, her eyes a little swollen. She's playing with the dog, so they'll get some fresh air, clean you up. All right, so everybody, no matter what, I exile negativity. I will not deal with it. We're not dealing with it at this school, especially from old folk that the time has passed and no one gives a damn. You know what I mean? Build. Do I recommend a 3-day fast for those who are newborn to knowledge? Yes, I do. What I do recommend, though, is that you make sure you schedule a time where you can relax, deal with the situation if you never dealt with it before, and drink liquids. If you can get protein drinks that don't have like chunks in them to eat, like fruit and everything, drink some protein drinks slowly. Drink everything slowly. Don't gulp anything during your fast, but some protein drinks, if you never fasted before, will help you. Okay. All right. And also, don't fear it. Don't fear the fast. Okay. Don't fear the fast. The more you fear it, the more it'll be harder. You know what I mean? And with that said, I'm going to let everybody go. Email me. That wasn't enough. We definitely can build. And again, it's an honor to build. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens, though, this is stuff like that happens a lot, but that doesn't even come close to deterring me from what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? This is the we still build, right, Harmony? Right? We still build. We still build. You know what I'm saying? All right. So peace to gods and earth. Peace to everyone that was doing the knowledge, though, and I'm willing that this was useful. Peace.